Okay, how's that? Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tennessee College of Applied Technology's Knoxville's Practical Nursing pinning ceremony. To all the family and friends here today, thank you for celebrating this special occasion with us. And to our students, congratulations. Today belongs to you. It reflects your hard work, your determination, your perseverance, and your commitment. You represent the future of healthcare, and we're thrilled to share this milestone with you. Through countless hours of study, clinical rotations, and hands-on training, you've shown a genuine dedication to mastering the skills required to be a competent and compassionate healthcare professional. The pin you received today symbolizes that achievement. It also serves as a reminder of the trust placed in you and the responsibility that comes with being a healthcare provider. You stepped into a career that will allow you to make a real difference in the lives of others. We have no doubt you will thrive in this profession, and we are incredibly proud of you. Congratulations again on an honor you have truly earned. May your path ahead be full of success, purpose, and countless opportunities to positively impact those you serve. I also want to recognize our instructors. They poured their expertise and dedication into preparing this next generation of nurses. And once more, I want to thank all of the families and friends for their unwavering support. And now it's my pleasure to introduce the Director of Nursing and Allied Health, Dr. Jake Terry.
Well, hello, everybody. I had a speech, but I canned it, really, because I want to speak a little bit from the heart. And I'm so proud of you all, every one of you all that are here today. It's been a long journey, and we know that, but you have survived like we told you you would, okay? So, you know, that's it. That's what nursing's about. It's about change, and we have to be willing to adapt to that change on a spur of a moment, and you all did well, very well with that, and here you are today. So thank you to the family and friends that have supported you, because that's what you needed. You could not have done this without them. I was in the same boat. I did the same thing, and had it not been for my family and friends, I would not be here where I am today. So I want to congratulate you on what you've done and all the accomplishments that you've achieved thus far and all the ones that you're going to achieve into the future. We welcome you wholeheartedly, myself and the faculty do, to the profession of nursing. Now it is my pleasure to introduce the president of Parkwest, Mr. Devin Johnson. I'm sorry. Sorry, Devin. I'm sorry.
Listen, I'm in healthcare administration. I have been called much worse, so. First of all, I'm going to do something a little unorthodox. You guys look outstanding. I've never done this. So I want to get a picture of you guys. Is that all right? All right. All right, everybody shake your hands like you're excited. All right. All right. I want to just take a moment. First of all, obviously, I want to thank President Cheney and the faculty for allowing me to be here and be part of your celebration today. It is extraordinarily exciting to see the second cohort of a very well-named Parkwest LPN program. We love that, right? With the TCAT program here. It's interesting. I've got a few remarks I want to talk about here. But as you really think about what you guys have been able to accomplish and what you guys have been able to do, it's quite a statement. And I want to talk today a little bit about what it means to be in healthcare. And so, every couple of weeks, I have the opportunity to talk to new employees at the hospital. And so when I get in front of them, I usually ask a couple of simple questions. And the first question I ask is targeted to people who it's their first job in healthcare. And I always ask them the same question: why did you choose to work in healthcare? And across the board, those answers vary. Oftentimes they kind of fall in this category of, I've been called to serve and I really like serving other people. I've had a family member who has been affected by healthcare, who has struggled in their life, and I've really liked so-and-so who took care of them and they inspired me to do that. And there's other people who have this aptitude for the science and the math and the critical thinking associated with it. So it's a lot of fun to kind of hear their answers. So after I move past that, I tend to ask people who've been there for 3 or 4 or 5 years in healthcare, what have you liked most about healthcare? And then I ask them the question, what have they learned during their time of healthcare? And then at the end, I ask the more experienced individuals who are with us, and I essentially, has healthcare gotten easier for them? And if so, why or why not? And it's really interesting to kind of watch these evolutions of answers and questions come to me. There's a lot of mixed responses. Healthcare's changed a lot. By and large, what people say who have been in healthcare for a long time is they'll say something to the effect of, as an individual, I have gotten much better at what I do. So from that perspective, I feel accomplished, that I feel stronger, I feel like I've been able to be more of a critical thinker, and so in that end, healthcare's gotten easier. But on the other hand, the dynamics of healthcare have changed dramatically. A couple simple examples. When I first started my career, somebody who had to have a knee surgery would come to the hospital, they'd have their knee surgery, they'd go up to the floor, they'd get rehab, they'd put on this machine that we now have found is kind of useless called a CPM machine. Then they'd go to an acute rehab, they'd be there for a few weeks, they'd grow a beard, their wife would have a kid or two, they'd go to a skilled nursing facility, by the time they got home, they'd have a whole new family, right? Nowadays, when you go to get your knee done, you actually do it at an outpatient surgery center, and you go home the same day. Same thing happens with open heart surgery. Open heart surgery is a very different beast. When you had to have a valve replaced, you would go into the surgery, they'd cut you open. It'd be a very traumatic event. They'd put this mechanical valve in, and you'd be in the hospital for weeks. Now, 75 to 80% of those same valves are put in through your leg, and you go home the next day with not nearly the same trauma. And so the technology has changed dramatically. The science has changed dramatically, along with the way in which we have to care for patients. But there's some lessons that I've learned. As the healthcare's evolved and changed, there's some lessons I've learned about what stayed the same and what makes people successful in healthcare. And so if you don't mind, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about some of those things. There's really 3 things that I ask people to focus on. First of all, if you're going to move in healthcare, healthcare takes expertise and lifelong learning. If you think about it, I like this example. What's the difference between a carpenter and a craftsman? So a carpenter is somebody who is both of them really are very, very skilled individuals who bring a lot of value to their clients and their trades. A carpenter can do work very, very well, and generally speaking, people are very happy with the people that they bring in. So what's a craftsman? A craftsman is somebody who dedicates their love and their passion to the work that they do, right? And you see that in the work. I love to tinker with my hands. I'm really not very good at it. I love to tinker with my hands, and I like to play with wood products and build on my home and do stupid little things like that. At best, you'd consider me a craftsman. My brother's a carpenter. He walks in and can automatically see what things ought to look like based off his experience and background. And so when you're really thinking about a lifelong career in healthcare, the one thing I really always implore people is to focus on becoming a craftsman. Focus on the continual education, the skills, the compassion, the love, the care that you can give somebody else, the proactive communication, the way in which you actually interact and work with your patients will differentiate you from a craftsman in healthcare, from a carpenter in healthcare to a craftsman. By personal example, many years ago, I was in a trauma accident, shattered my leg. What holds my leg together is 12 screws, 3 plates, and a couple of pins. I had 3 surgeons in the operating room. One of the surgeons, his name is Dr. McGregory, which I think is unfair. You should be McGregor or Gregory. You should not be called Dr. McGregory. But it was a 7-hour surgery to put my leg back together. Halfway through the surgery, Dr. McGregory walked out to talk to my wife. He brought with him a whiteboard. And on that whiteboard, he started to draw how my knee was going to be put back together so that my wife would not be afraid of whether or not I would be able to walk or walk normal or would have a leg. Today, I tell people I have a strut. I don't have a limp. I have a strut. But because of his craftsmanship, I'm able to participate in the activities I'm able to participate in. And we all have that opportunity in our field, is to become craftsmen in our field. And that's one of the lessons I really want to impart on people, is become a craftsman. You will love this job if you really dedicate your time to that ongoing learning and service. Lesson number 2 is remember who you serve. Dedication to healthcare is dedication to a career of service. You will be part of somebody else's story. You actually have no choice in that matter. By caring for somebody else, you will eventually be part of somebody else's story. So remember who you serve. After COVID broke out, it was a very, very scary time for healthcare. People didn't quite know what to do. At the hospital I was working at the time, we had our first COVID patient. Now back then, we presumed anybody who had pneumonia symptoms was going to be COVID positive, right? Because it took like 2 weeks to get the test back. You just weren't sure if they were going to be positive. So our very first patient came in as potential COVID positive. We had built out all these rooms, we had prepared our staff, we had done everything that was possible to do given the restraints of the time to prepare for COVID. I was headed home and I got a call that a radiology tech refused to take an x-ray of this patient's chest, which was necessary for the diagnosis at the time to see what might be going on in the chest. Well, what's your first thought, right? Your first thought is, everybody else is participating, why can't somebody like this participate? Just got to get in and get the picture. So I said, don't worry, I'll go talk to the individual, let me see what's going on. So I walked up and I talked to the individual, and I happened to know her. She was a young mother, a single mother of one child. Her and I talked about her family in the past. So what was actually going through her mind? What was going through her mind was that she might go in and get COVID, and she wasn't afraid of her life. She was afraid of her daughter's life, that she would take COVID home and that by some accident, she might kill her daughter. So we talked a little bit about that. And after a while, her and I devised a plan. We both went in together, we wiped up the machine, we worked through things, and she's fine. I mean, everything was safe with her. But the point being, you never know who you're gonna serve, right? Sometimes it'll be your patient, sometimes it'll be another team member, and remember this, sometimes it has to be yourself. Sometimes you have to take time and serve yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself, you're not going to be able to take other people. So the second lesson I have for you is remember who you serve. And then finally, I just kind of add, and I'd like to go back to the first question I ask all my new employees. Why did you get in healthcare? It's a really important question. I'm a firm believer that in our life, the places we receive the most challenges are the places that we receive the most reward. For all of you who don't believe me, go back and look at your family, right? Family is very, very challenging and very, very rewarding. Healthcare is the same way. You will serve extraordinarily vulnerable people. In fact, people will be never more vulnerable than when they come to a hospital or go to a nursing home or come to a medical office and ask somebody else to take control of their body so that they can be healthy. They will never be more vulnerable than that. And you will be able to intervene in those times. And with that will come some amazing rewards. There will be times you will go home and you will want to tell your family about the family member you got to meet, or the story you got to hear, or the medical intervention you got to be part of. And you will be so excited to be involved in healthcare. There will be other times when something good won't happen. Somebody will pass away. Somebody connected to will have a bad outcome. And you will go home and you will want to decompress on the couch and you'll want to relax. And in those moments, the one thing I implore you is to know what your personal mission is. For me, it took years to discover that. So I started thinking about this about 10 or 15 years ago, and I wrote up different versions, and over time I got it down to one sentence. My one sentence is to improve the lives of the people that I serve. That is my personal mission. And when things get hard, I walk around the hospital and I ask how things are going. And if things are getting better for my team, then I'm fulfilling my mission. If they're getting worse, then I'm not. And I try to stay connected to my mission. As you develop in healthcare, your mission will start at one place and it'll move somewhere else. And by the end, it might even be somewhere else. But stay on top of it. Understand why you're here. It's too hard not to love it. You have to love it. It is too much fun. It is too many good things come out of it, but you have to choose to love it. Anyway, I want to send one more time with a thank you. You guys deserve a great round of applause. You guys, we're so excited to have you. And if you want a job at Parkwest, we'd love to have you over there. I'm not supposed to recruit, but congratulations to you guys one more time. And thanks for having me today.
Thank you very much, President Johnson. And now it's my honor to introduce the class representative, Mr. Lane Palmer.
Hello, everybody. I just want to thank everybody so much for being here today. And I think I can speak on behalf of our class when I say we are very glad to be here, we are very glad to be done, and we are very glad to have a chance to sleep again. So I know that everybody in my class is going to go out there and they're going to change the lives of some people. I've watched you guys all change my life and change other people's lives, and you guys are all very special people. And more importantly, you guys are kind people, and you guys are very capable people. And I know that you guys are going to go out there and do a great job, and I know that you guys are going to get all that kindness back that you guys have put out there into the world. So round of applause for these people. I'd also like to give a thank you to Mrs. Young, our teacher. She's been incredible throughout this entire time. She's been fighting her own battles, and she has still been there through every step of the way. So we couldn't ask for a better teacher than Mrs. Young. And finally, thank you for the TCAT staff, and thank you to Jake and everybody back here. We appreciate you guys. And now I'd like to introduce our next speaker, Mrs. Tara Lohman.
We'll now be presenting the candidates with their nursing pins. DeAndre Ansley. Ryan Bruno. Renee Chase. Sierra Cleveland. Shaitra Elmore. Jane Kamau. Soyeon Kim. Kennedy Mapunda. Nikita Malin. Joyce Mwangi. Nellie Orego. Walton Lane Palmer. Divine Paulson. Jaden Riley Roach. Renata Santiago. LaPortia Silas Hicks. Tierra Stokes. Daniela Twasije. Rebecca Varner. And Whitney Webb. And now Mrs. Stacy Young and Mrs. Morgan Strunk will lead the students in the Nightingale Pledge.
You guys. That's just all I can say. You guys. You. Oh, you. I just want to take a minute to tell you all how proud I am of you. I know not only myself, but I know Miss Ferguson is also proud of you. I'm not sure she's here, can't see, but you guys worked hard, okay? You did it. You did it. So I take great honor in doing the Florence Nightingale Pledge with you, because at this moment, you're no longer my students, you're my colleagues. And I'm so proud of that. All right, I'm gonna ask you guys to stand. If there's any other nurses present, please join us. Please stand and join us. Nursing, we're never too old and too long to repeat the pledge. All right. In the presence of God and those assembled here, I solemnly pledge myself to practice my profession faithfully. I will not take or knowingly administer any harmful drug. I will do all in my power to maintain and elevate the standard of my profession. And will hold in confidence all personal matters committed to my keeping. and all family affairs coming to my knowledge in the practice of my calling. With loyalty, I will endeavor to aid the physicians in their work and devote myself to the welfare of those committed to my care. Welcome to nursing. I got so excited I forgot to introduce my boss, y'all. You guys can go ahead and sit down. I would like to introduce Dr. Kelly Cheney, the president of TCAT, for her address to your students.
Good morning. It is almost afternoon, but I can tell by this spirited group you are going to have a fantastic day. Yes, yes. So it's always a great pleasure for me to get to speak with students and talk to their families and learn more about where you are in your career path and where you came from and why you chose nursing. Why? Practical nursing is such a big deal. There are people like me who could never, ever do what you have chosen to do for the rest of your life. It takes a unique individual to care for yourself and care for others, care for strangers, come home and take care of your families. I know there's lots of family in the audience because I heard you. I heard you loud and clear back here. So if you are a parent of one of our graduates, would you please stand? All right. Thank you. Thank you. Be seated. How about, do we have grandparents in the room? Yes, we do. How about great-grandparents? Aunts, uncles? I see some waves going on out there. Oh, wow, welcome. I see a few little ones in the audience, and they are doing their work on their iPads and having a lot of fun during our pinning ceremony, and just such good children. If you are a child of one of our graduates, could you kind of wave? Yes? All right. Yay. So you see, going to college is a family affair. And I think Mr. Johnson hit on that really hard as well, that it takes a village to get students through college at any level. But in a career path like nursing, for people like me, you are the glue that holds the medical profession together. You are the essential part of every healthcare facility that no one can do without. I applaud you for your career path you have chosen. I'm excited to congratulate you as the class of 2026 for the Parkwest Cohort. And I know it's really warm out here, but I will not keep you long, but I want you to know how important it is, the value of a nurse to the general public and people like me. You see, many of you I've met across the campus. I've met you at orientations, and I met some lovely nursing students in the women's restroom earlier today. I did. And she reminded me that we had a good conversation back in orientation week when they first started this program. But I want to make sure that you leave TCAT Knoxville as proud alumni of this institution. But I also want you to leave in understanding the value of a nurse. And I hope it takes you take it with you, because I would love to give you just a short abbreviated version of my friend Chrissy. You see, my friend Chrissy was a single mom in the heart of Central Appalachia. I would say in the heart of coal country. And you see, my friend Chrissy, she lived in a neighborhood that had a 2-story hospital. The ground floor was doctors, the second floor was patient care, those sort of things. But over time, in this rural area, this hospital started closing, not closing, but really shrinking the services to this rural community. But my friend Chrissy was in a unique situation. She lived about 1,000 feet from the hospital. She was also a single mother of 2. She had a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. At the time, her 4-year-old was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. And I would love to tell you about the value of a nurse and what that meant to my friend Chrissy. You see, on diagnosis day of type 1 diabetes, my friend Chrissy had taken her daughter to the ER, carrying her lifeless little body in, and the thing that was so impressive was at this tiny little healthcare facility, it was the medical assistant that helped her out quickly. It was the CNA that took her 2-year-old to make sure he was safe, while the doctors and RNs and LPNs helped with the 4-year-old daughter with type 1 diabetes, undiagnosed at that time. You see, that little girl, she had a blood sugar of 583. 583. So my friend Chrissy, as a single mother, was quite a bit panicked, just to be fair. Panicked, scared to death. Next thing we know, my friend Chrissy is being told, we're putting your daughter on a helicopter to Cincinnati Children's Medical Center, and she'll be airlifted out within the hour. Well, my friend Chrissy, as a single mother, was distraught. What was she going to do with the 2-year-old? How was she going to get to Cincinnati, which was a 3.5-hour commute? Because you see, there were no facilities like Parkwest Medical Center, like Covenant Health, and how they take care of East Tennessee. Those medical centers were not there. They were just not there in this rural area. So you see, my friend Chrissy got some extra care while her daughter was being prepared to be airlifted. She had nurses that helped with her 2-year-old little boy. She had nurses that helped calm her so that she could get in her car with a 2-year-old little boy and make the 3.5-hour drive to Cincinnati. The helicopter would beat her there by 2 hours and 45 minutes. But I hope you understand, as nurses, the care you give is not just to patients. It is to patients like my friend Chrissy. It is to patients like Chrissy's 2-year-old who didn't have a clue what was going on with his sister or his frantic mother. So I challenge you as nurses to always care about yourself, always care about the patient's family, because I can bet you, you will impact them as well. You see, my friend Chrissy has a tender spot in her heart for practical nurses because of all of the events that occurred that day. Most of you know, or have at least seen my friend Chrissy around campus. You probably don't know her, but you've probably seen her. Some of you even talked to her today. Do you got any idea who Chrissy is? Who is Chrissy? That is a true story that happened to me. I used my mom's name, who was Christine, and we called her Chrissy. But I tell that story often because there are people like you who are going to be game changers for somebody like me. I would not have the stability or mental sanity to get through that day without nurses. So from me and all of my family, we thank you. But for all of our administration and our employer partners and your instructors who are phenomenal, we hope you have the best imaginable career possible in taking care of the world, because you are ready for it. Congratulations to the class of 2026.